your mind. Ain't it cool?
Welcome to Black Irish Podcast. Hey there, and welcome to an all-new episode of Black Irish Podcast with myself, Brennan McCorkle, and Mike is usually right, Crawford. What's up, bro?
There's a whole bunch of people that would not agree with that. But what up, bro? How you doing this week?
A lot of people are idiots in this world. We know that. But nobody that listens to this is an idiot. That's for sure. Oh, episode 59. Episode 59. The spooning episode. You know what I mean? The spooning episode. You know, 69 is like the gross sexual thing, which I don't know. I think I'm kind of turning the page on that a little bit. I don't think it's as gross anymore as I used to think. But like 59 is like a spooning thing. You know, like the 5 is like the girl has her elbows out, but her butt, does the little loopy curve thing into your 9. Trust me, look at it. It's going to make sense. I think we're more spooners than I think we're more 59ers than 69ers, wouldn't you say? Are you a 59er or a 69er?
I'm a 50. You can count me as a 59.
Yeah,
that's what 59 is.
I don't know. It's an interesting concept.
I've never heard it before, so
Well, it's because I just made it up about 15 minutes ago.
That was my question. That's where I was getting at. How long did it take you to come up with that?
Hey, we invent shit all the time on this show. We just invented a new sexual, non-threatening sexual position, a 59.
That's longer than I would have thought. So there you go. Good thing you put some thought into it, my guy.
Yeah, there you go. And you turn that 5 into a 7 and lift one of those legs up, you're in business. Alrighty. Well, anywho. Oh, man. I think I got some car trouble, Mike. I think I got some car trouble. Yeah. Well, not really, but a little really. Like, it's fucking white people problems. Like, I saw that there's a little bit of like rust looking stains, like coppery looking stains on the AC vents of the car I just took over from my wife. I'm like, it's just the condensation builds up over time, and I'm like, that's a weird problem to have.
Hey, look, go get the Lexus test up, buddy.
Yeah, I think that's what. But I'm totally like, my throat's been irritated a ton lately, and I'm just gonna start blaming it on that. Definitely not on anything else.
No, all the other things that you do that could cause you throat irritation, we're gonna blame it on the AC. I love it, guy. I love it. I love it. You like it, I love it, man. That's what we're blaming it on. So
I love it.
Ask me, your throat hurts because of the AC.
Yeah, I'm just inhaling refrigerator coolant all day long, or antifreeze, or whatever the fuck is in the AC. Oh man, but I mean I have been smoking more lately, because basically the back specialist that I went to, because my back's all jacked up, like I officially got it checked out. She was basically just kind of like, I mean, if that helps, go for it. Like, I'm not going to tell you not to. Like,
we're doing. She be my doctor too.
Well, she was more of like, I can tell that you're going to do this anyway. Like, you're going to do what you're going to do. So at least let me. Like, I was just asking, like, is this something I definitely shouldn't be doing? And she's like, not really. I was like, okay, that's good enough for me. That's all I need to hear. But
I was going to ask her to prescribe me something if it helps with the pain. So go ahead and help me out.
No, okay, so I'll walk you through a quick diagnosis treatment plan that she gave me. So what happened is I have a few different discs, like kind of the padding in between your vertebrae and your spine. Like, I have disc degenerative disease. It's some of it's genetic, some of it's mechanical. Mechanical meaning like how much you've used it, how much actual pressure has been, compounded over the years or whatever. So between that, it's assisting the discs in slipping past the vertebrae and into the spinal column where all your nerves run through and disperse throughout your body. So if it gets to a point where nerves get pinched, there's a chance of paralysis, extremely low. But like the time I went through this like 5 years ago, my left foot was completely numb for months. And even after the surgery, it took a long time to get full feeling back into my left foot, like almost a year. So it's nothing that, it's something that I've experienced before firsthand. So I'm like very like, hey man, let's address this. Let's preventative maintenance the shit out of this thing, and I'll do whatever it takes. You know, I don't even like taking those pills anymore. I used to pop them for fun, probably too much. And no, definitely too much at certain points. But then I got that handled pretty quickly and easily. And then, or not easily or quickly, but, you know, it seems that in relation to all my other vices and abuses that I put on myself in my life, like that was a flash in the pan. But
that was a quick period of time.
But it does make me feel like shit, and it was something that my body just instantly rejects. So it's like, it's like, you're going to overdo this. We're going to make you sick before you can overdo it. And it's like, so I don't even want pills or anything. Like I told that to every person I've talked to along the way. This is the second time I've seen this back specialist. So basically I'm like, okay, so what do we do here? And she's like, well, you need to do acupuncture twice a week for at least 2 months, and then do it once a week pretty much for the rest of your life. And she's like, also massages will be good, and do some yoga. I'm like, okay, so I'll do that for now. What are we going to do long term? She's like, that's it. I'm like, no, that can't be it. She's like, yeah. She's like, it's not to the point where you need surgery, so I don't want to do that. And I'm like, listen, man, I'm not trying to like maintain a problem at a reasonable level. I'm trying to fix a problem. Like, let's get me to as good as I can be, not, this is going to hurt forever, figure it out, kid. Like, fuck that, dude. So I am doing everything that the doctor said, and I was like, you know, kind of badgered her until she was willing to give me a referral to a neurosurgeon. I'm like, listen, that's who gave me the most information last time, so that's who I want to get their opinion on this time. Not that I'm looking for surgery. I'm looking for, hey, what do you see here? Just different opinions from different people on the same images, you know what I mean? So, because last time, I mean, like, I know I've been into it before a little bit or in detail, but like my last back surgery was not great. It took a long time to get to where I needed to go, just because I was too young and people thought I was chasing pills, and you know, it was just like, oh, this shouldn't be happening to you. I'm like, yeah, but it is. You have pictures. What are we going to do about this, you know? And it's like, oh, we want to try everything that's not invasive first. And this time I'm like, listen, if that's going to be the end result in 3 years, let's just do it now. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, why do I have to suffer for 2.5 more years before we do the thing that we need to do anyway? Like,
that makes no sense.
If that's going to be, that's why I want to talk to this neurosurgeon, because I want to just ask him point blank, be like, listen, dude, do you think that I'm going to need surgery in the next 5 years? And if his answer is yes, I'm going to go, okay, what would that surgery be? Or if he says no, then I'll be like, fucking okay. Let me figure out whatever I can do to deal with this, you know? Like, because I've accepted that there's a possibility that I live with the amount of pain I'm currently in. That's, you know, it's been a few weeks now. It has not moved up or down. Like, that might just be it. I'm cool with that. But if it is going to get worse over time for, you know, just general life living, I'd like to do whatever I can now while, you know, I'm prepared for it. I don't want this thing just creeping up on me. Yeah. It's like, oh, by the way, your back broke, cool, bro.
If I could do something to do it, make it better, I'm not cool.
Yeah, so I got to follow up on that. And did I tell you? I'm sure I've told you this story about walking out as soon as I was done with surgery for my last back surgery.
No.
So I did not want to be in the hospital. So going into back surgery, I was excited about the anesthesia because I'm like, I want to see how long I can last. You know, they tell you to talk, like they talk to you while they're giving it to you, administering it, or tell you to count backwards or forwards or whatever. Like, I wanted to see how long I could fight it just for fun. Because I'm like, it's going to be anywhere between 1 and 4 seconds. Like, that's going to be the length of this experiment. It's not going to be very long. So I was looking forward to it.
4. I think I remember saying 4. I don't know if I was counting backwards or forward though, but I remember seeing the number 4 when I was put under when I got my teeth pulled.
Yeah, I don't remember. It may have been something where I was so talkative. They may have just even been like, okay, you just keep talking until you fade into the darkness, you weirdo. But then it was like, as soon as I woke up from surgery, which was like, they were done with surgery, and then I woke up within like 10 or 15 minutes. Like, I don't know if they gave me something to wake me up, or if that was just like the anesthesiologist timed it perfectly, like, because they're on, they're there the entire time, administer, the levels and checking everything. So maybe just did a fantastic job. Hopefully that was the case. But as soon as I woke up, I was just like, okay, I want to go home now. And they're like, yeah, it's outpatient, but you have to stay the night. And I was like, I don't want to. And they're like, well, we've given you, like, you have drugs, so you have to stay. And I was like, wait a second. What drugs have you given me? They're like, well, nothing yet. And they're about to put some drugs in the thing. I was like, hey, hang on a second. They're like, well, with whatever you've got in you already, the best we can do is you can go home at 6 o'clock tonight. And it was like 10:30 in the morning. And I was like, no. They're like, well, you don't realize that you're in pain yet because the anesthesia hasn't worn off completely yet. But like, we're going to give you something else that's going to help with the pain. And then, as soon as that wears off, I was like, no. I was like, can I just have the drugs and go? And they're like, no, if you have the drugs, you have to stay. Well, it's like, well, then you can keep your drugs and I'm leaving. And they're like, okay. So then like the head nurse was getting all pissy. Like, this guy does not understand what's going on. So she put a wheelchair on the other end of the room and was like, if you can stand up and walk over there and sit down without hurting yourself, then you can go. I'll draw up the papers right now. My happy ass was walking over there, sat down. I was home 45 minutes after I woke up from surgery. Like, I'm fucking out of here, baby. Like,
hey, I'm not playing with y'all. I gotta get the hell
like, those
out of
medical professionals don't understand my tolerance for drugs. I'm like, you think you're giving me something good, but it's not gonna work on me, so I'd rather go home.
There you go.
I'd rather be in a self-induced drug state than trust you idiots. You guys aren't going to be my drug Sherpas. You don't know me.
Yeah.
We have no bond or trust here.
People are now getting high off the drugs that they pass now too, so it's all the fucking same, right?
I was in the doctor's office and I always checked all the locked drawers just to see what's open. And I'm waiting in there. I'm like, fuck you guys. Are you guys doing your job? No. So I like open one drawer and it's like, pain relief medication, but they're all injections. And I was like, there's a point in time in my life where I may have considered taking these to give to somebody, but I am not about any injections or nothing. Like, no. Let's leave that to the professionals.
They can have it.
Yeah. No. I'm good with that.
I ain't injecting shit into my own body. I barely want the people at the fucking hospital and doctor's office injecting me with shit, with needles and shit.
All right. A lot of times it's not even what it's supposed to be, and they're like, fucking sorry.
There you go.
Oh, man. Well, in transitioning to just dealing with the pain and crap, do you know what the 4x4x48 is?
No.
So you tell me if I am... Okay, we've already established that I have a bit of lunacy going on here. You tell me how crazy I am in this situation. So there's this dude, David Goggins, that does something every now and again called the 4x4x48. And it's you run 4 miles every 4 hours for 48 hours. So for 2 days, every 4 hours, you're running 4 miles. Now, if you walk briskly, you can walk 4 miles in an hour. So it's not necessarily like, I don't think it's
4 miles in 1 hour.
If you have like a steady, fast-paced walk, yeah.
Probably.
Because you can jog, like lightly jog a mile in about 10 to 12 minutes, probably.
Yeah.
So then if you just slow it down to like a faster walk to reduce impact, I mean, that's an hour. Hour 15 if you're slugging it with somebody because you're chatting it up. It's more, it's not, I don't think it's about necessarily, I mean, the fitness part of it's great because you can do that 4 miles as fast or as slow as you want to push yourself, but it's more I think it's more of just pushing through being tired and not wanting to do shit and be like, oh, fucking this 2 a.m. run, what the fuck was I thinking, you know? So
bro, if you eat decently doing that, you'll probably lose about 20 pounds.
My body is weird as shit.
Every 4 hours for 48 hours,
yeah,
you would lose a lot of weight, bro.
Well, here's the thing.
A lot of burned calories.
It's coming up. It starts on March 4th, so it's like 3 weeks away. 2 weeks. Yeah. Fucking, I don't know. I can't do math.
Hell, you telling me about it for? You know I'm not partaking.
It's 2 weeks away. Mike, there are other people that may want to join in that may not know about this or may want to see. It's over the course of a weekend. It starts on Friday evening at like 8 o'clock Pacific, March 4th. And then it's over Sunday evening. So it's over the course of the weekend.
We really can't participate. That's 11 o'clock. Like, so you think somebody's going to start walking at 11 o'clock?
Well, yeah, because, okay, check this out. After the 8 p.m. run, there's another one at midnight and another one at 4 on the West Coast. So, you know, on the East Coast, it would be 11 o'clock, then 3 then 7. Then 7, yeah. So what? What are you doing? All you're going to be doing for that 24 hours is running, eating, and napping. That's all you're going to do, and interacting with whomever you choose to in between.
At 3 in the morning, I will be sleeping.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to call you every time I'm on a run just to fucking buzz your phone just enough to wake you up.
What weekend is this?
2 weeks from this Friday. So March 4th, 5th, and 6th. Don't turn your phone off that weekend, you dick.
You know you won't be getting through, buddy. You wake me up at 3 o'clock in the morning.
What a dick. Hey, I'll text you.
The first run, I'll be asleep. 11 o'clock, I'm gone.
Not on a Friday. You play poker on Fridays.
Oh, you're right about that. Not every Friday, though.
I know, but usually it's at least in your routine, so you're still used to being awake on Fridays a little bit later than usual.
Sure.
Because sometimes I'll text you at like...
I could do 2 of them. I could do the 11 and the 3 o'clock if I push... 11 and the 7. 3 o'clock at night, I'm asleep, buddy.
3 o'clock is in the morning.
Or whatever you want to call it.
Or afternoon, depending on AM or PM.
Where I'm from, we call it at night. If you stayed up. You know what I'm saying? We used to be in the trenches up 24 hours.
Well, yeah, you're still at the club at 3 in the morning. That's what you should do. Oh, that's what you should do.
I'm still out here, buddy. I'm not going to no club.
Go to the club at like 9, 10 o'clock. Bounce out, go for a run at 11. Come back in. Everybody's sweaty and smelly and disgusting anyway. You'll fit right in. Then at 3 o'clock... right before last call, you go for a quick run, sweat out the booze a little bit, get your head straight. That way, when the lights are coming on, you pull the right chick instead of the wrong chick. That's a great move.
Too bad.
Not you personally, but somebody on the East Coast. You know what I'm saying?
There you go. Yeah.
A clubbing type person.
He's giving out good ideas, man. He's giving out good ideas.
Telling you.
If y'all want to participate in the 4-4-48, I'm sorry. That's past my bedtime personally, but I am behind all those who will do. That listen to our show that do. Because if you ain't like showing us no love, no likes, no shares, I don't care what you're going to do anyway.
That's a way to reel them in, Mike. Smoke, not honey. Yeah, see, but you also, like, you wake up at random times because, like...
Yeah, that's why the 7 o'clock one wouldn't be a problem. I could do that easily.
But you always say you're in bed. Like, okay, you just had a birthday recently on Super Bowl Sunday, and I had texted you at 9 o'clock our time because I knew it was midnight your time. And I think you were up, or maybe you weren't.
I was up because it was my birthday, dude.
I know, but I mean, but that's what I'm saying.
Saturday night.
It doesn't matter. You fall asleep during a fantasy football drafts on a Saturday night. It fucking doesn't matter.
Bro, I fall asleep after like 4 hours of it, though. Like, our fantasy football drafts last long, bro. Like, that's not...
Hey, this past one was the best one that we've had.
I'm there for the beginning. I pick my players to about number 10. And then I start, like...
And then I pick the rest of your team for you, and those are your good picks.
I'm not... Y'all are all together live. I'm on the East by my lonesome.
I know.
So it's a big difference, buddy.
So did you do anything exciting for your birthday this year?
Watch the Super Bowl.
Yeah. What'd you do for your 21st birthday?
Got really drunk. That was the day I told myself I wasn't going to drink anymore. I got stupid drunk. Threw up on a couple friends.
Where'd you go? Where were you? Walk me through your 21st birthday.
I got off work. We went to like the hotel bar right next to the job. Like it was like a Hilton right next to where I work. So
yeah,
in the Mark Center. So we just went there. Me and my homeboy had a couple of drinks there, and then we weren't even supposed to, like, you know, I didn't have no plans to really go out for real. Cause it was like a regular weekday. We were gonna wait till the weekend, but then.
Oh, but then anytime somebody says "but then," you're like, "Here's the good shit."
Yeah, but then we went to this place called Mango Mike's on Duke Street, man. And I just was drinking everything. My shit, other people's shit, people were buying and giving me shit. I was so lit, man. I don't remember exactly how we got to my house, but, you know, my house was the hangout spot. So we went back to the crib. We were about to hang out some more, you know, smoking shit. I've been smoking for a long time, sorry to say. And, I took one puff, bro, and it was a wrap.
That's the spins, baby. That's the pukey spins. It's over.
That was the last thing I remember. They tell me the rest of the story went. I stood up, tried to go out the door, threw up on my man, threw up in his hair. Shout out to my man Fat Vic with the long hair.
Oh, and it was long hair.
Yeah, he's a Spanish guy, man, so he had long hair. Then on my other man in Jordans, threw up on those. And then they put me in the tub, man, and got me right. So shout out to them. Respect, much love for that, because they could have like been mad as shit. I probably would have been mad as shit with a punch in your face. But nah, they looked out and got me right. And it was girls there, which is more embarrassing. But shout out to them too.
Hey, it's the 21st. That's like one of those days where you kind of get a pass. You know what I mean? Especially if...
Oh, I wasn't interested in them in that way anyway, so...
No. I mean, like, you can act a complete fool. And, you know, if it was all a part of a good celebration where, like, people are buying you shit, like, everybody... That's kind of the point of your friends on your 21st birthday most of the time. It's like, how much is it going to take to get this dude to be over the edge, you know? And that's kind of the whole goal. It's a weird fucking dynamic. Like, we're going to have so much fun until you feel the worst you've ever felt. Happy 21st birthday. It's like, fuck, dude. Why does it got to be like that? This should be good.
It was the second worst I've ever felt drinking, but it was the second. Actually, that wasn't the first time I told myself I was going to stop. That was the second time I told myself I was going to stop drinking. But that shit wasn't supposed to happen because I never should have been drinking after the first time I told myself I was going to stop drinking.
Well, I think your fatal error there was the smokage. Because that, honestly, dude, as somebody who drank forever, like I used to smoke weed all the time. Like, you know, it was hard to go to school without being high because it was so boring. You know what I mean? So I've been smoking weed a long time, and back in the day I would party, I'd mix everything together. And then there was a couple times after I basically stopped smoking weed for a long period of time where I was drinking and it just seemed like a good idea to party, and I didn't, wasn't keeping track of how much I was drinking. I was just keeping track of how drunk I was. And, fuck, dude, like those spins are out of control. So when I was like trying to transition or get like a healthy alternative to drinking before I quit completely, like I was testing the waters with weed, I was like, okay, well, I won't drink hard stuff. I'll switch to beer and wine and then smoke weed occasionally to offset shit, whatever. I was terrified of weed because I thought I was going to like time warp back to all those shitty times with the spins. Like that was just how it was going to be. And I was like, Yeah. Then you realize that
the spin, that's exactly what they should have called that shit. I never heard that until this day, but the spin is exactly. But I don't remember that shit, so I don't really. But spinning, I was definitely spinning, but I was probably spinning long before I threw up on anybody. I remember spinning.
Yeah.
I don't remember throwing up though.
And that's what makes you sick, is you get so dizzy that you vomit.
And I don't remember getting in the tub, but I woke up in the tub. It's a wild night and a memory that I will never relive again. I will never get that drunk again.
You know what's so funny?
I don't know if I was more drunk I was more drunk that night, but the other night when I was young in Pennsylvania,
How young were
I
you?
don't know, man. I was throwing up. I was in what, 10th grade? I was like 17. Yeah, I graduated at 19, so yes.
Okay.
Yeah, man, I was throwing up like stomach lining and some more shit. I think that was just mostly alcohol poison from drinking too much bullshit and not actually knowing how to drink. I don't think I ate or, like I was just a young dummy.
Yeah.
Trying to participate with some new people I was meeting and just stupid.
Yeah.
I was so, for like 2 days, my mom just let me like thug it out too. She ain't no more support. She gave me
like, you did this. Deal with it. Yeah.
She gave me a trash can, bro. She said,
at least you did that.
You're in your room until you're able to come out. Have fun, bro. I was just throwing up like brown shit. Like it was the worst ever. But yeah, and I thought I was done drinking then, and then I drank again on my 21st, and I don't drink after that. You might catch me with a sip here and there, but alcohol is not my friend, people.
Yeah,
it's too easy for me to get drunk. I don't know why, man. Like
because you never do it. That's like people that never smoke weed. It's like they get so blitzed, if they take a puff and they're like, what? It's the same thing. It's just a different mix of chemicals. You know what I mean?
You'd be like, let's take shots. I take one shot and I'm like, yeah, can somebody drive me home?
Yeah, woozy doozy, man. That'll do it. It's so funny that, I'm like the wild fucking crazy person of this show. And for my 21st birthday, I had recently purchased the Batman Begins DVD. And so I remember it was on a Wednesday. So after church, where I was playing in the church band, slapping the bass, I had some of the kids from, like the older kids of the youth group that I was cool with and we hung out with on the side outside of everything. They came over and watched Batman Begins. I got a 6-pack of Heineken and a big pastrami burger from Jimmy Dean's. That was my wild 21st birthday.
Hey, bro, don't worry. You have more birthdays that were wild enough. Let me win the 21st battle.
Yeah.
Mine wasn't really that wild, though, except for the fact I just threw up on people.
I think that's also one of those things where, like, it was kind of the same thing as, like, Vegas with me. Like, I had already done it so many times. Like, I had already drank so much by the time I was 21. I had already been to Vegas so many times by the time I was 21. It just, like, the allure was not there. There was no excitement there. I'm like, I'd rather go to fucking, New York than Vegas. Like, show me something new. You know what I mean? So, anyway, I also wasn't in any position to go anywhere or do anything. Like, I splurged on a 6-pack of Heineken and a Jimmy Dean's pastrami burger. That was my big birthday gift to myself.
I don't know, at 21, I had a decent job, bro.
Oh, all right. So, Super Bowl. That's what you did for your birthday. So, what did you think of it? What did you think of how the game went?
So I wasn't like zoomed into the Super Bowl, but I thought it was a good game for the most part. I thought the refs stunk.
Yeah.
But it played out pretty much how I thought it would. Their O-line can't block their D-line. Real simple game plan, But excuse me, sorry about that. They had a chance to take over the game. I think Joe Burrow missed some plays. He left some meat on the bone.
Yeah, he did.
They could have, after that interception, they could have took over. He took that sack, and I know it was quick pressure, but
dude, you got to get that ball out. You have two reads. If your first one doesn't feel good, you just chuck it at the second one. You have to give it a chance.
Why aren't y'all audibling to any screens or anything like that? They're playing zone. So they're playing a lot.
They could have easily tried a bubble screen, like, hey, fucking one-on-one, you block. Come on.
Or a shovel opposite way of Donald to Mixon, or just flat out give him a draw.
That's what I was wondering. I'm like, fucking let this madman come in, take a half-second delay, and then just shoot up wherever he's coming from. Just shoot right up next to it.
Basically, he had 15 rushes for 72 yards, so he was having a decent day. And then they on 4th and 1, you run the ball, but it's P-Ryan for the game. Like, it's just plays like that.
Yeah, I think that's where I don't necessarily think that Sean McVay's coaching staff out-coached the Bengals in that scenario. I more think that Zach Taylor dropped the ball as a coach in that scenario.
But the big play was the 2nd and 1 when they just did the fake dumb to Jamar Chase, just randomly throwing it down the field. Like no real play call. Just
so stupid. And even Jamar Chase was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like walking away like, why did we do that? Like shaking his head like, stupid.
Stay with the game plan, man. We got to score. Like we need points, but like let's not, because we had the one big play, let's not get too big hit. And that's what happened.
God. Did you make any bets on the game?
No, but I know somebody who won $25,000 off the Gatorade.
The blue Gatorade?
Blue Gatorade.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean they bet about 500, but $25,000 is a lot more than 500.
That's rad, dude. Yeah, so so guess what I did with.
I don't know how much. I just know they won 25.
So guess how I did with my betting. So I told you we reviewed the line last week and we were like, okay, it's right about 48 and a half. If it jumps up to 48 and a half, I want that half point. I'm going to take the under. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then I get caught up in the joy of football and Super Bowl and I get excited and I bet the over like 6 different ways. So
why would you bet against yourself?
I don't know. I went against my intuition and bet for fun. And I just, it was one of those things where you got to take the L. But yeah, so what I bet was I bet all the adjusted odds. So I flipped at the last minute on Sunday and I changed it from betting the under to, I still took Cincinnati, but I had bet the adjusted line. So it was, the over-under was 48, I believe, when I got it. So I bet over 48, and then I bet over in every increment they allowed. Like some are 4 points, some are 6, like all the way up to like 69.5 points, which was at like 100 to 1. You know what I mean? So if that paid, if they scored 70 points for some reason, just the more points they scored, the more I was going to get paid. So I was like, yeah. And I was licking my chops and didn't even have any steak.
Yeah, no, your first instinct was your right instinct, man.
Oh, and then Cincinnati 3.5, at least that covered, because I kind of hedged myself where I was like, all right, bet everything individually and, then go for all your silly prop bets and all that kind of shit.
3.5 definitely covered, and that shouldn't have covered even with the field goal kick and make the extra.
But that's what I'm saying, that extra point that threw everything into the stratosphere, man. Like that was weak because that would have helped on those half points, because the second half was 3, I think, which doesn't really matter, but for the overall, it's a huge deal.
Nah, you're right about that, man. Every point helps.
So there's I did see that there's MVP betting for 2022 already. And Patty Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers are at 7 to 1. So check this. Tom Brady is at 45 to 1, and the Caesars Sportsbook is saying if he doesn't play, everybody gets a refund. How do you feel about that?
I'm betting it.
See, I think that Tom Brady and Caesars got a little side deal. They got a little Phil Ivey special going on here. And so let me tell you this story. There's a very famous poker player his name's Phil Ivey. And
we all know Phil. Well, I know Phil Ivey.
Okay.
And you're talking to me, so cool.
So there was a World Series of Poker, the main tournament. I want to say it was at least 15 years ago. It was a long time ago. And what happened was he was the odds-on favorite to win the whole tournament. Okay? So he had, millions, tens of millions of dollars riding on him to win. And at the final table, he just starts fucking blowing up, like throwing away chips. You go, oh, so if Caesars breaks off Phil $5 million and pockets 40, what's to say they're not going to do this with Tommy? Good old TB12 coming in for a quick payday. All he's got to do is play one game. Sign with one team.
Yeah, they said if he doesn't play, I mean, he has to play. If he plays, this is Tom Brady. He's not just going to play for a down.
You wouldn't play for like 3 games for like $10 million?
Tom Brady?
Yes.
Brendan, we're talking about someone who has a legacy of the greatest quarterback of all time.
I'm just saying.
Do you think that $10 million is worth their legacy, bro?
Indulge me.
And his wife makes $50 million a year. He don't need $10 million.
I understand that. But winners like to win. And winners like to get compliments. And the way that you compliment winners is with money and accolades.
Which means he's going to go out there and play the whole season. He might liably win the MVP.
Or
he's not going to go out there for 3 games and just quit. Now, if he gets hurt, is one thing. But this is Tom Brady we're talking about, bro. He's not just going to play 3 games and say, oh, yeah, I quit again. Like, come on.
Indulge me in this. What if he takes the route that I had offered up for Ben Roethlisberger? He holds out for half the season and starts taking phone calls around week 8, 9, and 10.
Now, that was a better idea. Now,
and if that, story. But that's what I'm saying. There's layers to this onion, Mike.
Okay.
And so with Tom Brady having that in the back of his mind going like, hey, maybe, he's probably already set this deal up with Caesar Sportsbook and goes, listen, I don't necessarily plan on playing, but if I choose to, you got to kick me down. We're going to work this out. We're going to work out the numbers at the time.
No, because everybody's already saying that's probably what's going to happen. So Caesar is just hedging their bet because they lose nothing.
What? Okay.
Without having a deal, but think about it. Without having a deal for Tom Brady, they can make the same deal and say and bet and hedge their own bet. Because here's the thing: right now he's fakely retired without putting in paper. So if we put him up here at 45-1, which is hella odds, people are going to bet this.
Yes.
So it's either we win nothing because we give everybody their money back and he doesn't play, or he plays half the season and no way he's going to win MVP half the season and we win. You don't need Tom Brady to be in on that.
Yeah, but if he is, it's a guarantee. Mike, guarantees are... Yeah, come on, man. There is so many... Why do you have faith in Vegas? Like, it's not the sleaziest fucking set of people in the world.
Not having faith in Vegas. This is more so having faith in someone... and I'm not even a Tom Brady fan. Anybody who will listen to this show on the regular knows I'm not a fan of Tom Brady. So there's that. But I do believe he has more integrity than that. I'm just not going to believe that Tom Brady would go out like that, bro. I can't believe it. But he also was a part of Spygate and Flattened.
He also almost threw the Lombardi trophy in the water. You think he gives a fuck? He's just like, whatever.
Yeah, but I think he would want to win too bad. Like, he can't play the whole season. But
that's what I'm saying.
Without being in on it, it's a smart thing for the Caesars to do because everybody who's ever heard Tom Brady speak since retiring think he's going to come back and play at some point next year. And if it's not from the beginning of the season, most likely he won't win MVP. Unless he comes in like 4 games in. Then he still has a chance to win MVP. But most likely he'll miss half the season, come in on the back end. I'm hoping it's somewhere like New England. Not saying I want Mac Jones to go down or anything. Maybe you just sprain the thumb, can't play for 2 weeks, and then he looks so good that they just keep him in. That type of scenario. Or the 49ers. If Trey, they happen to be winning games.
Oh my gosh, dude!
But Trey, stinks.
So hang on a second. You're rattling my brain around a little bit, and I like it. So I had told you to keep an open mind about Aaron Rodgers going to San Francisco, which I don't know if it's just because they're looking for something to talk about, so that's why there's a little bit of buzz around there. But
no, he's from there, but I don't think they gave up they could have went and got Aaron last year for the same thing.
Yeah, but you can also understand that you've made mistakes and just accept, sometimes you got to accept a loss to get a win. So, that's up for grabs.
You're going to play the Piper twice? That's not a Shanahan Lynch move. Like, from a front office perspective, they don't move like that.
Here's the thing. After being close a couple of years ago, being close again, probably feeling like they should have been in the game. And with Jimmy G on the flex and Trey Lance, if they're not sold on these quarterbacks, they might just do a reset with a veteran, being Aaron Rodgers. Now, moving to the TB12 conversation, the Tom Brady conversation, that would be the ultimate fuck you to Jimmy G. Is like, not only did I kick you out of New England, I'm going to take over the team that you couldn't win with just to fucking smash you down to nothing like I knew you were.
Well, you know the quote is about Jimmy G. So,
yeah.
So the famous barbershop quote is, "You're going to keep that sorry son," is about Jimmy G.
Yeah.
So he always wanted to go to the 49ers, and now it would work out perfect if he came have, because the thing about the Niners is the way they play ball, they can still win games without their quarterback being good.
Yeah.
So they're 5-3, 4-4, 6-2 coming in halfway through the season, and Trey. I can't even think of his last name right now. Whatever.
Trey Lance. But here's the other thing you got to think about,
he's still not looking like good. Like, yo, Tom Brady, come on down, buddy.
Yeah, well, here's the other thing, is the NFC West is going to be, like, dog shit next year because Russ is probably not going to be in Seattle. Kyler and the Cards got all kinds of shit they got to work out. And then the Rams. The Rams put together a Yankee-type season. Good for them. Yeah. They bought a championship. Hey, everybody does it from time to time if they can.
They
Good
need
for
to
you.
find a number 2 receiver now because
they need receivers bad.
Both of their receivers, both of their number 2s have ACL, so they won't be there for. Woods might be there for the beginning of the season, but he ain't gonna be Woods.
Well, and how good is Robert Wood? You know, how high is Robert Wood's ceiling really?
I mean, I like him.
He's good, but you know, like he's not one of your. If you had an option for a number 2, he's not even in my top 10.
Oh, but what was I about to say?
About the Rams receiving core?
Oh no, if Aaron Donald gives it up, then they stink. I don't care.
You think there's a chance he racks cleats?
I mean, he's talking about it. He's 8 years in. He plays defensive tackle. Like, it's not that far fetched. It's a tough position. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he is
no, and definitely, you know, being one of, like, if he goes out now, even just with one title, like, he's in the conversation for best of all time. At that position.
About it.
So
8 years, all Pro Bowl years, all Pro years. One
defensive MVP,
NFL defensive rookie of the year. No, he's got 3. I think.
Yeah, that's
defensive MVPs. Like,
yeah,
it's just ridiculous. Like, there's a hell of a career in 8 years.
Yeah,
like,
he's basically he's the he's the defensive version of like a Joe Thomas, but he actually finally won. But
Joe Thomas left a year too early. I don't know why he left when the team got good.
Because, but that's one of those things where would Joe Thomas have really sprungboard the Browns to be that much better? And then maybe that's what Aaron Donald's considering.
But he could have been there a part of the good year. Like, they've been decent. He could have been a part of this instead of just retiring after 10 years of losing. Like, it's weird. Like, did you ever even really want to be a winner, or did you just want to be Joe Thomas? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. But here's the thing.
Here's your chance to be a winner. You're still good. We see you walking around. You're healthy. You walk around doing media. You're a broadcaster now. You're 10 years in. Like, their offensive lineman who played 20 years. So I don't think it was a health thing. You just wanted to leave because you didn't want to play for the Browns, and they weren't going to trade you. So you was like, yeah, I'm retiring. I don't know, man.
Yeah, but I mean, I could also see Aaron Donald having a similar mindset where it's like, listen,
Aaron Donald won though.
I know, but here's what I'm saying as far as the offseason mindset with a veteran who is one of the best at their position. And it's, okay, how much more do I have left is the first question. How much do I still have the hunger is the next question, or vice versa. And then how good are my surrounding teammates? Because here's the other thing. Like, Von Miller's getting old. He just won his shit. You know, like, they're going to lose some people in this area. So I think what he's got to do is see what the team's going to look like moving forward. And that, you know, hopefully for the Rams before the draft. And then he can make his decision based off that. If he's truly considering racking them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but Kyler's not a real issue. Kyler in the Cardinals isn't a real issue. They pay him his money, he'll shut up. He's making noise because he didn't get offered the contract. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all. He was
but
the one picking
you know, it also feeds.
Deals.
It also feeds into like him deleting his social.
Everyone else been offered their deal. He hasn't been. He's about to play over. They're gonna franchise this. He didn't get his deal early. Like he didn't get a Josh Allen
deal
offered like Lamar. Like Lamar got an offer. Him and his mom haven't signed it, but they've offered him his $40 million. Just didn't sign it. I don't know what he waited for.
That's crazy.
But,
why wouldn't you sign that?
Because he's probably trying to pull a Dak and win the Super Bowl so he can ask for 50.
You know, I mean, how much do you really need, man? Is it worth the distraction?
Guys, it's not even about the actual money.
It's the prestige of it.
Yeah, it's the prestige of being the highest paid. I'm the highest paid. You can say what you want. I'm the highest paid.
I don't understand why that's still a thing in the NFL. And, like, it's every 30 seconds somebody else is the next highest paid.
Yeah, but when you're doing that at that high level, your competitive drive is just on that type of level. Like that's what drives you to make it to the NFL, which is why I didn't make it, because I ain't that pressed to be better than nobody else.
Well, I didn't make it because I didn't play football. That's my excuse. Otherwise, I would have been fucking there, baby. But, I mean, you know what? I will say something about ultra competitors, which you might disagree with me. Golf is back, baby. They got some ultra competitors in there. Golf is fun to watch again.
They got the ultra competitors, man.
They do, and you know what's funny is
out there by themselves. Ain't no teammates, ain't nobody else to lean on, ain't nobody else to help you. If you don't come through, it just ain't.
It's all on you. And guess what? Everybody's super quiet and focused while you're doing your thing. But I like this crop of golfers. Like there was a little bit of a transition period, almost like a SNL cast. You know, it's like you got to sweep out the old, just bring in the new, and sometimes there's some transition periods. It's kind of the same thing with golf, because now all of the golfers that are at the top of their game, they're all the golfers that grew up idolizing Tiger Woods. So all these guys are jacked, in good shape, have swagger to them, and are like ultra competitors. Like some of this beef is manufactured to just get some buzz, but some of it's legit. Like fucking don't pair me with that guy. Like I'm not gonna make a big deal out of it, but don't fucking put me with that guy, because I'm gonna fuck with him and he's gonna fuck with me, and nobody's gonna win this tournament. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah. So they just did the Waste Management Open, which is in Arizona, right next to Arizona State, and it's the wildest golf tournament of the year, because what they do is the 16th hole is a par 3, and they have all these grandstands built all around it, and it's mainly littered with college kids from ASU. And if you hit a bad tee shot, you get booed. If you know, like it's a raucous environment. It's the only hole like it in golf. You know, TPC Sawgrass has like a little island where you got to hit only on the island, so that's exciting. But this one is like a couple people made an ace, and like everybody was throwing beer cans and water bottles. Like it's a celebration. They just kind of have a cleanup crew that they're like, if something big happens, this has happened, so we got to clean it up, let the next guys go. And so it's more of like a fun tournament in that sense. So much so that there were 2 golfers who were like middle of the road, okay guys. I mean, they're on the PGA Tour, so they're, you know, that's like saying somebody's not that good in the NBA.
Did you just call people that on the PGA Tour okay guys? Like
they were doing okay in the tournament, is what I mean. Like they were middle of the road in the tournament, and one dude hit like a 20-foot birdie or something, and then got a big reaction out of the crowd. So he just lifted up his shirt and was like, "Ah!" And golfers don't do that. And then so there was the other guy that was like waiting in the back for him to finish because he had already putted. He just takes off his shirt and is like, yeah. So shout out to Harry Higgs and Joel Dahman keeping the PGA Tour fun, man. Like embrace that shit, dude.
They ain't getting no free pass to the next event though, buddy.
No, but they both cleared, you know, 50K. So that's a good weekend, man.
Yeah, that's a good weekend, buddy. That's a great weekend.
Oh shit! So I'm actually the Genesis Invitational is coming up at Riviera Country Club, which was kind of known as Tiger's Tournament for the longest time because it's, you know, the Beverly Hills Club or whatever, Bel Air, wherever the fuck it is. So I'm actually going to be going to one of the days. I don't know which day I'm going to go yet, but I'll be going to one of those days. So we'll see.
Go to Saturday.
I've been betting on golf a lot lately too. They just have it's just such good odds. And I used to have like an office pool with avid golfers like every weekend. Their handicaps are less than 10, like good golfers. And we always had office pools going on. So for all the majors, which there's 4 a year, we would always get an office pool and do golf drafts. You know, everybody throws in $20-$40, whatever it is. Winner gets a nice little chunk of change. So I'd always kind of followed it a little bit, but now I'm kind of getting back into it. Me and this other dude were like kind of going back and forth. Shout out to Bet Slippin' Podcast. I've had a couple of side bets with him the last couple of weeks. The first week he took me. We just pick heads up who does better. So the first week he took me. This past week we chopped. And then this weekend I'm hoping to fucking earn my stripes back so I can at least get back to the square. I hate, like, it's so funny because I could lose tons of money on a gambling website or through a bookie or something like that. And I'm like, whatever. But personally betting with somebody, I'm like, oh, I want this more than anything. It's like, I want to picture the sadness. You know what I mean? Oh, it's just such a good feeling.
It is. And
also like that guttural feeling of like, oh my God, I'm going to lose. I'm going to look like an idiot. Ugh. And like the worst ever in golf is if they don't even make the cut. So they usually golf for 4 days, and after the first 2 days, they cut the field down to, you know, a reasonable amount. And so if your guy didn't make the cut, that was like, you know, dropping your pants at the front tee box. Just unacceptable shit. But so anyway, keep an eye out for me. But now that football's over, what are you watching? Do you have new things on the docket, or are you just catching up on all your standard shit?
You moved to basketball, bro. Shit's never ending.
Well, I know the sports cycle is.
But no, but I'm gonna start watching the Tommy shit because I like Tommy. That's my guy. He got his own series now, so.
Oh, the Power Book 4.
Yeah, so I'm gonna watch that. You know, Married at First Sight. That's my same shit. What else am I watching? Did I start anything? Oh, I started watching the new Bel Air.
Oh,
on Peacock.
Did that come out already?
Yeah.
I know they're advertising it, but I didn't pay attention long enough to see when it was airing. So,
and one of the guys on the characters is a battle rapper. You know, I'm in the battle rap. So
yeah. So
watch that.
So how many episodes? 1?
I've only seen 1 yet.
Is the whole season up, or is it week to week?
I don't know.
Okay. What'd you think of the first episode? Because I'm trepidatious about diving into a dramatic version of Bel Air.
It's decent. It's pretty good. But I don't like some of the casted characters. I don't like people they cast as some of the characters. But it's 1 episode in. I ain't too mad at it.
All right. Is it heavy at all, or is it just dramatic?
As of right now, it's not heavy. I mean, 1 episode in, it's kind of just some drama.
They're just kind of character introductions, all that bullshit.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to, it's kind of been a topic of discussion, like, is that worth checking out or not? Because there's so much shit out there. But I think after, a few episodes are out or something, that might be something to dive into, for sure.
Yeah, you know how I do anyway. I usually wait for a couple episodes.
Have you seen the Ray Donovan movie yet?
No.
You got to watch it, dude. I need you to feel better about life, and I know you will if you see it.
I gotta sit and watch because Ray Donovan's my guy.
I know.
I find time to sit and watch it. And my Bulls are number 1 in the East. We'll tie for number 1. So yeah, there you go.
What's up with Levine? Baby. What's going on with Levine?
Man, I don't know, man. He better be healthy, bro. Like, this is our year. We can make a run at it. The East is no dominant teams. Yeah, the Bucks are pretty good. The Nets are beat up, who was supposed to be the dominant team. And sorry to say, Embiid and Harden just don't scare me.
No.
They just don't. Like, neither one of them have proven to be dominant in the playoff or come through in the clutch or these all-around, all-world playoff performers, so they don't scare me. If you pull it off and you show it and you do it, so what? But there's some regular season guys, if you ask me.
They're a real Gumby and Pokey, those two.
Yep. I don't fret them. I think we can beat them, man. We got 2-headed monster score and a 3-headed monster when it comes to my man Lonzo, because he be D'ing up.
Talk about load management, huh? I think DeMar DeRozan figured out the way to do it. Dude's on fire, man. He's been carrying the Bulls for a while now.
Yeah, man. He has to, man. Ain't got no choice. Everybody else stay hurt. So when they come back, he's gonna need some rest.
Yeah. No, it'll be well deserved too. He's been crushing, man.
He's in and out the lineup. Lonzo's been hurt for a couple of weeks now.
I've been so I caught up on Succession, which is on HBO. I've been watching a ton of financial type shows and shit like that's just kind of what I've been catching up on from back before. So I caught up on Succession. I need to figure out if the last episode I saw was the season finale because there were 9 episodes, or if I'm just legit caught up and there's like one more episode in the season, because it was kind of left on a cliffhanger. But sometimes you don't know because in these financial drama shows, there's not like somebody dying or somebody got lost. There's no cliffhangers like that. It's like, oh, where's the money gonna go? And you're like, are you gonna tell me next week or next year? So I got up to episode 9 on the current season on that. Almost current on the new season of Billions, which is fucking back better than ever, dude. Mike Prince is the fucking man, bro. I love it.
I heard that's real good.
He's the real Karate Kid, if you know what I mean. And then Dallas and my wife and I actually started watching Suspicion, that show on Apple TV. It's only got a few episodes out. So that was the one that I had mentioned a couple of weeks ago or last week. There's 4. So now that I've seen a couple episodes, I'll give you kind of the premise. There's 4 random people that get arrested because a British media mogul's son. So Uma Thurman is a media mogul. Her son gets kidnapped. But at first, there's no ransom. They just have 4 people that they think are involved, so they arrest them. And the goal of this whole process that they do is they're going to let them go because they can't find one of the people. And they're going to track them so they can find the money. They can find out where this kid is. Like, they're going to, just surveil them throughout the entire country. Wherever they go, they're always surveilled. Cameras, people, everything. It's basically like Enemy of the State. You know what I mean? So they're kind of broaching it. So this all happened in New York City, but all these people are in England. So basically it's like you kind of know that all 4 of these random regular people are all tied into this thing. But you don't know if it's like a master manipulator's doing it. You don't know if they're all in it together. You don't know what the scenario is just yet because there's only a couple episodes out. But I will say it's definitely got us on like the, if we're home on Friday night with the kids, because it gets released every Friday, and we're not going out, like that's something we could pop on. You know what I mean? Because it's not like we're going out all the time and shit. We're regular people, I
need to watch more TV, man. Watch more shit that ain't sports. Because that sounds a bit interesting.
It actually is. It is. It's, it's like, you know what I can tell you it's like? It seems like the interesting, not necessarily the good, but the interesting parts of startup are more consistent in this particular show. So it has that interest level is just the floor is raised on it. So it also helps that there are 4 different characters, main characters, because, it's like if they're only 45-minute or an hour episode, you're only spending 10 to 12 minutes on each character, so it doesn't get boring fast. You know what I mean? It's like as soon as you're about to be like, okay, we get what's going on, they transition to something else. Or they chop it up so they can bounce back and forth. So you're like, oh, wait, what was happening with that person? Oh, okay, cool. Because they're kind of trying to do it in real time, but show you this is what's happening with this person. And then they'll cut, this is what's happening to this person. But you're to assume that it's all happening at the same time. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
So, I don't know. It's pretty rad. I liked it. I like it. So... Yeah. We, I also saw the Louis C.K. special, the stand-up comedy special, Sorry, which was like his first special that he's televised since, you know, was accused of all these sexual shenanigans and shit back in the day. And I think he admitted to it and, you know, apologized for whatever he felt bad for or whatever. I don't remember. It was a while ago. But
you know what the fuck he did, so there you go. You got me beat.
Anybody who knows Louis C.K., he's a brilliant, brilliant comedy writer. Like, he's been writing...
he write Goosebumps, I think. Like, right?
That's R.L. Stein.
Oh, all right. Well, fuck this.
That's a completely different category.
Okay, you got you.
But anyway, so I thought it was pretty good. Like, this guy's been writing comedy longer than I've been alive. So, you know, the comedy special was extremely well written. But there was a part of it that kind of bugged me just because... And I like Louis C.K. as a comedian. But he throws around the word Jew like Quentin Tarantino throws around the N-word. Like, it's almost a power move. Like, I know you're going to watch this anyway. So I'm going to belittle, you know, this particular brand of people just because I can. You know what I mean? I'm just like, yeah. That's the way I feel about Tarantino, you know, and the N-word stuff. It's like, you're only doing it because you feel like you can. Like, fucking stop.
I don't support Quentin Tarantino, so...
Good. I like some of his movies a lot, but there's at least 2 or 3 very specific intentional scenes. I mean, it's a movie, so they're all intentional, but in every single movie that I'm just like, fucking, why'd you have to do that, dude? You know what I mean? So it's all, you know, I don't know. It definitely, I pick and choose when I watch those. I got to really be in the mood for them. But Pulp Fiction is fucking amazing, so that one's kind of tough. Reservoir Dogs, however, is my favorite.
Reservoir Dogs.
That one's the business. Maybe I'll watch something. Maybe I'll watch something a little more lighthearted this week. Maybe like Untamed Heart. Have you ever seen Untamed Heart, Mike? There's no way in the world.
I have not.
The only reason why I thought about that was because there's like sometimes when I go outside and smoke, I'll come in and like spray some Febreze and then just like walk through it. That way I don't get, you know, like concentrated Febreze all over my shit. And like the opening scene of Untamed Heart is Marissa Tomei like getting ready for this date with a douchebag guy or whatever, and she like sprays her perfume and then like walks into it or like throws her neck into it or whatever. So I started thinking about that, and then I started thinking about that movie, and the premise of the movie is that she falls in love with this fucking busboy Christian Slater, who people used to say I look like when I had like slick back hair and shit. There's like, that was the doppelganger. It worked out really well when I was going to church too, because anytime I'd leave, I'd be like, "See you, Christian Slater." It was great. That was a joke that my buddy passed on to me because he didn't go to church. But the premise of the movie is that this busboy helps her out while she's about to get raped in the park, and she falls in love with him and finds out that this quiet guy is only quiet because at the adoption agency, his heart was gonna fail, so they put a monkey's heart in there. So this guy, Christian Slater, is living off of a monkey heart, and it's so sensitive that if he gets excited, there's a chance it might burst and he'll die. So he's trying to fall in love with Marissa Tomei, but not so much to where he dies from it because he has a monkey heart. This is what we did in the 90s. We watched these types of films.
Because it sounds like we were fools. Okay.
You know what, though? It has its moments. It's a darling little movie, as weird as that premise is.
Very much so.
Well, all right, so that was the closest thing that I got to a celebrity lookalike. Was like, consistently people were like, "Dude, you look like Christian Slater." Like, I've had off comments before, like, "Oh, you look like this person." I'm like, "You're fucking stupid." But Christian Slater, I got a bunch. Who was the person that you got compared to mostly?
I don't get compared to nobody, but I'm gonna tell you some weird shit about one time who a dude. I mean, I wouldn't consider him a celebrity, but he's on like Love and Hip Hop or some shit.
Oh, like a contestant?
DC. No, he's Love and Hip Hop is a show, bro. It's like a reality TV show.
Fucking, I've seen it back in the day, but I don't remember because that was all fucking. There's so many reality shows based in stupid shit and names like that, like Hip Hop and Love or fucking. There's all kinds of shit.
Yeah. So Love It. I think he's on Love and Hip Hop.
So what's Love and Hip Hop about, or what was the show he was on about?
It's like one of those shows where they just follow people's lives, but these are.
So
like
it's a reality show.
Yeah, that's what I say. A reality TV.
Fucking guy. Okay, not a contestant. Reality, same thing.
Yeah,
it's all produced.
But, his wife's famous, so his wife's semi-famous. Shout out Yandy.
Oh, I get it.
But I'm in the mall, bro. So I'm in the mall with my homeboy. And I'm going to Kid Foot Locker to buy my nephew, I want to say, some shoes, right? I'm in the store, and this is pre-mask. So we're in the store, and I'm with my homeboy, who's hilarious. I must say, shout out to my man, Ro. And she comes up to me, and is like, man, DC, what you doing in here? So me, someone who doesn't even really watch this show, I don't really know who Man DC is. But my boy happens to watch the show because him and his wife happen to watch the show every now and then. So she calls me Man DC. I'm trying to say I'm not Man DC. She's like, I know you're Man DC, yo. I know you're Man DC. So she runs to the back of the Foot Locker and gets her camera, bro.
Yeah.
Gets her camera and stuff. Wants to take a picture with me. Wants me to sign stuff. I'm trying to tell this girl, like, bro, I'm not him.
Fuck that. Lean in and go on a date.
But my boy, though, is, man, why you acting like that? Yeah, you know you ain't supposed to treat your fans like that.
Yeah. Shout out to Ro indeed. I love it.
Bro, it's the funniest thing ever, bro. I bought them shoes so quick and got the hell out of there.
Did you get an awesome discount?
No, I don't want no discount. I don't want to be this guy. I'm just myself.
So what?
That's I want to be.
Whatever, dude. If Jennifer Lopez was in love with that dude and accidentally mistook you for her, would you scoff her away? No. So don't tell me you never want to be that dude. You just didn't want to be that dude in the moment. If he was cooler.
I found a picture of him and we didn't look like nothing. Like, I don't know what was wrong with this little kid. I don't know if she was a little kid. She probably in her 20s. But
she was working.
She was definitely working.
So, yeah.
At the Foot Locker.
There you
Kids
go.
Foot Locker.
Oh, man. I don't know. There's glimpses of you here and there, and I think it's more of because of your demeanor reminds me of him, but I swear to God, you look like Jay Crowder sometimes. I don't know why. Like, I honestly think it's like your demeanor, just your
Jay Crowder, bro.
Just your fucking no nonsense. I'm here to do business, and then like if you're gonna get upset, I'm gonna laugh in your face. You know what I mean?
Jay Crowder's a funny decision, my God.
Why? Do you hate him?
I just never heard it. Never thought about it. Now I'm gonna go find a picture when we're done and look it up and see if I look like Jay Crowder.
I could be so far off. Oh, shit. Well, you know what I'm not off on this week's playlist? This week's playlist is T.I. and the Ramones. So we're going to have a blast.
I've heard both of these before. So, yeah, I've heard a couple of songs from the Ramones. So,
we're going to be spinning. We're going to be spinning this week. So
spinning. No, don't go spinning this week. You'll be throwing up on people like I did.
Just do it responsibly. Party responsibly, sometimes naked. And on that note, be sure to follow us at Black Irish Pod, at Black Irish 213 for Mike, at Brendallas7 for me on Instagram. Check us out on YouTube if you feel like it, or download wherever you podcast. Be sure to share. Word of mouth. Share a link. Post it to your stories. Whatever you want to do. Yeah, show us some love. Because we love you guys back. We're coming.
Tell a friend, man. Tell a friend to tell a friend.
Take your favorite.
Black Irish is the podcast to listen to.
Yeah, take your favorite segment and at the water cooler, just go, you will not believe the kind of shit that I heard these maniacs spewing. And see if it doesn't spark an interesting conversation. That's all I'm saying. So don't forget to love each other, all right, guys? It's going to be a good week.
Man.
Love y'all.
Happy Black History Month.
Happy Black History Month. Deuces.